Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, our dear friends and family. Whatever time zone you are in, we hope that you are well. I am Summer Green, and this is our fifth instalment of Extracurricular Arts. And for the first time, we are doing a film review. And this film review is on the 2023 remake of Jesus Revolution. It's an American Christian drama film directed by John Irwin and Brent McCorkle. It's based on the autobiography book co-written by Greg Laurie. The film follows the teenage Laurie, Christian hippie Lonnie Frisbee, and Pastor Chuck Smith as they take part in the Jesus movement in California during the late 1960s. Chuck Smith is a traditional Southern Californian pastor. He becomes concerned that his church is declining in numbers and that he cannot relate to the growing hippie youth culture around him. His perspective begins to shift when his daughter introduces him to Lonnie Frisbee, who she met as a traveling hippie. He manages to speak about Jesus in a way that resonates with the young people. And as Chuck gradually accepts Lonnie and the young visitors who follow him, the church begins attracting large numbers of teenagers and young adults seeking spiritual direction. And at the same time, we have Greg Laurie, a high school student who becomes involved with the local hippie scene and experiments with drugs. After witnessing the negative effects drugs have on people around him, Greg grows disillusioned, and through a friend, he is introduced to Lonnie's ministry and begins attending Calvary Chapel, where he is later baptized and finds a sense of belonging. And as Chuck and Lonnie continue to work together, their ministry rapidly expands, drawing national attention and becoming part of what is described as a broader youth-led Christian movement. Greg becomes increasingly involved in the church community, beginning his own path within the growing ministry too. And there are many characters in this film, but I just wanted to pick up a couple of additional key characters. So we also follow Kathy's journey, and that sees her shift from the excitement and instability of the hippie scene toward a more grounded search for meaning, prompted by witnessing the harm drugs cause within her own circle. This change positions her as a steady influence in Greg's life. She challenges him when his choices are unsafe. She introduces him to Lonnie Frisbee's ministry and becomes a person who opens the door to Greg's spiritual turning point. Their relationship grows through shared experiences, moments of conflict, and mutual growth, ultimately reflecting two young people moving away from a destructive environment and toward a community that offers direction, belonging, and purpose. Another key character is Charlene Laurie, and she is depicted as a struggling single mother whose instability, emotional volatility, and reliance on alcohol create an unpredictable home environment for Greg. Her character arc reflects a woman shaped by disappointment and hardship, often oscillating between affection and frustration as she tries to manage life on her own. This instability becomes a defining force in Greg's development. It pushes him to seek belonging and stability and identity outside of his family home, making him more receptive to the community he later finds at Calvary Chapel. And their relationship is marked by tension and distance and moments of vulnerability, illustrating how Greg's search for purpose and security is partly a response to the emotional gaps in his upbringing. I'd like to also go over the performances and production, and wow, the actors and actresses deliver compelling performances, each bringing real depth to their roles across the film's intertwining storylines. The family bonds, the friendships, discipleships, romantic relationships, they all carry their own distinct chemistry, creating moments that feel genuinely intimate and authentic. The cinematography, sound, and music truly reflect careful research and a strong understanding of the era in which the story is set. The sets are thoughtfully and thoroughly crafted, and the lighting captures the period's atmosphere with impressive accuracy. It doesn't feel like you're simply watching a film. It feels as though you're standing right beside the characters as each storyline unfolds and every plot twist lands. It's shot from a steady third-person perspective. The visual style is grounded, immersive, and confidently executed. We have Jonathan Rumi, a practicing Catholic and dedicated actor, approaches his faith-based roles with a deep sense of reverence and personal devotion. His appearance in Jesus Revolution feels completely fitting. And then we have Kelsey Grammer, widely known for his iconic portrayal of Fraser Crane, also stars in the film. His performance is central to the story, capturing his character's transformation as he opens his heart to the counter-cultural youth of the era. Let's explore some of the film's themes. And there are several meaningful themes that resonate across generations. There's belonging and identity, where young people searching for purpose in a world marked by instability and cultural upheaval. There's transformation and grace. Characters who are changed not by perfection, but by honesty, vulnerability, and spiritual awakening. And then there's the generational reconciliation, the bridging of gaps between traditional church culture and the emerging youth movement. There's also the search for meaning, a generation disillusioned by drugs, broken homes, and pressure, finding hope and faith in community. We also identify the theme of how a pastor fulfills their pastoral role. And although the film is set in the 1960s and safeguarding practices existed but were handled very differently, yet we still see moments of pastoral care that echo modern safeguarding principles. And a key example is when Greg tries to pursue something that Chuck feels he is not yet ready for. Chuck's response reflects a pastor's responsibility to discern maturity in his emotions, in his spirituality, and in terms of identity and life experience. It shows a shepherd guiding a young believer with wisdom, rather than simply granting permission. We also see Chuck intentionally keeping the focus of the church on Jesus, rather than allowing the movement to drift into personality-driven ministry. He recognizes the risk of the gatherings becoming the Lonnie show and gently redirects his community back to Christ as the center, not any one individual. And these films give the film emotional weight and help it speak to audiences far beyond its historical setting. Overall, the film has a good, steady pace and encapsulates the Jesus revolution of the 60s exceptionally well. The characters' personalities shine throughout, adding layers and depth to each individual. There are gentle touches woven into the storytelling that add emotional weight too. For example, the subtle change on the church board from listing hymns to something entirely different, signaling a quiet but significant shift in culture. There are moments where the film could have gone further. It would have been interesting to see the narrative explore someone choosing drugs over faith and how the community could have responded to that tension. Similarly, the scene in which Lonnie and Connie experience marital strain feels slightly underdeveloped. Expanding this moment would have helped viewers understand how they reached the difficult decision they ultimately made. And for me, one small curiosity remains. Just what version of the Bible were the newcomers encouraged to read? It's a detail never addressed directly, but one that would have added an extra layer of authenticity to the film's portrayal of early discipleship. The 2023 release of Jesus Revolution carries a BBFC rating of 12A in the cinemas, meaning under 12s may watch only if accompanied by an adult. It carries a BBFC rating of 12 for DVD stroke streaming, which means it's suitable for ages 12 plus. And just as a side note, as this ministry is run in the UK, the rating is that advised in accordance to UK guidelines. And this rating is driven primarily by the moderate drug use and drug-related distresses, a drug-induced seizure, a drug-related car accident, and emotional intensity. Alcohol and smoking are present, but are not strong enough to push the film into a 15. And having watched the film myself, I would personally recommend it for ages 16 plus, with the advice that parents and guardians watch it first to determine the suitability for their young viewer. In conclusion, overall, Jesus Revolution of 2023 offers a heartfelt portrayal of a pivotal moment in modern Christian history, blending strong performances with an emotionally grounded narrative. And we give Jesus Revolution of 2023 a solid 4.5 stars out of 5. I shall be listing the link to the film that you can view through Amazon. And I'll also add the link for the BBFC ratings, which of course is in accordance to UK guidelines. And if you have not watched this film, I really encourage you do. And be prepared to have your eyes opened, your hearts warmed, and discover a sense of belonging for yourself. But for now, that concludes our episode 5, and soon enough we'll be exploring another area. But for now, as always, Stay strong and keep smiling. And guess what? You, you are loved. Goodbye for now.